couple of movies we're going to be going through. Now, this one came out in 1978, but it only goes to the first two books. I'm not going to say what it is yet. And they kind of cut it off at the second book, and they don't go on to the third.
Okay.
Ralph
Oh, wow.
Bakshi, Lord of the Rings.
That's the original version. When I was growing up, they had my first exposure to Lord of the Rings was my mom bought me one of those books where you turn the page and it goes bling, and you got to move the
Oh
story.
yeah, when Tinkerbell rings her little bell like this, and then you turn the page and you listen to
Yes.
it on the record. Yeah, I've had those too. Yeah.
And I didn't realize that was a real animated film by Rankin and Bass.
Yeah, but I prefer this version because I like the rotoscoping that they did.
Right.
Like when you see the Dark Riders and they're going after Frodo when he's on the horse, and they say, the ring, to
Right.
Mordor we will take you. But you know what? One thing about this film that I noticed, there was no Arwen.
Right.
She doesn't appear until the other film, the ones Peter Jackson did.
Right.
Kind of strange because I don't think she was in the original book.
Yeah. Did you what did you in one of the portrayals in there that was different for me was the portrayal of the Mountain Men in the animated versus the Peter Jackson. What do you think of the difference? My thing was, I read that book, maybe I missed something, but I didn't realize they were all ghosts. I thought they were like men, actual men that were going to fight that battle, not to be the spirit that flies through and just sleeps.
I had a feeling they were ghosts.
What?
I had a feeling they were going to be ghosts.
Yeah, but in the Rankin and Bass, he did it more like they were men that came in to save the day. So that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, but the one thing I don't understand is, what is it? Oh, brain fart. I can't remember. It'll come to me. It'll come to me. Okay, so next we go on to Peter Jackson. Now this is the theatrical version, The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring.
I saw that in the film 13 times in theater.
I think I saw it 3 times in the theater, or maybe it was twice. I'm not sure, but this is a great film.
My wife and I, before we had kids, it was kind of our thing to do. We would just go see Lord of the Rings if we couldn't, like, just kind of staring at each other and nothing to do. We'd just go to see Lord of the Rings. And here's a true story. Do you remember in 2002 the Super Bowl? Do you follow, American football?
I don't like football.
Okay, well, just here's a story about it real quick.
Okay.
In 2000, my wife's, I mean, I like football. I mean, I'm in the Green Bay Packers, but that year it was the Patriots versus the St. Louis Rams. The Rams were picked by a ton to win that Super Bowl. They were picked by a lot. And what ended up happening is that they ended up coming back to win the game. And that's where Tom Brady became who he is today and who we all know. And from that game. But the funny part for what I did was I told my wife, oh, let's just go see Lord of the Rings. This could be a nothing Super Bowl. It'll be a blowout. I don't care. So I had to go see Lord of the Rings. I come out of Lord of the Rings, and there's this huge crowd gathered around these TVs watching. And they're watching that Super Bowl, and everybody gathered because it's a big comeback. I'm like, we got to get home. We got to see this. It was really funny. I missed the whole thing.
Imagine.
But I just saw the Lord of the Rings and the 20th anniversary in the theater here in Milwaukee just a few weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They had a dialogue with Stephen Colbert afterwards.
My precious. Part 2, Two Towers, theatrical.
James, have you heard of Josh Gad?
What?
Josh Gad, have you heard of him?
No.
He's the voice of the snowman in the Frozen movies.
Oh, yeah?
He's a popular actor and Broadway actor as well.
Oh, yeah, Josh Gad. Yes. Now I remember, yeah.
He has a series on YouTube. I do recommend if you're a Lord of the Rings fan. He has a series on YouTube that he did during the pandemic and did it for charity to reunite people through Zoom and reunite movies. And there is a Lord of the Rings one with everybody comes back that's living. Peter Jackson and the Hobbits and Gandalf, everybody's back and they're all on Zoom. It's a great YouTube. It's about an hour-long episode. It's really good.
Wow.
I recommend checking that out because it's them all goofing around and they actually reread dialogue and they really go all out there.
That is so cool. Now we have the last one, which I wish had a slip cover for it, slip case. The Return of the King. This is a great movie.
Yes, it was.
And now we're still in Lord of the Rings, and you're going to wonder why I have.
1 second.
Okay.
I thought since you're doing it, I'll participate too. Go
All
ahead.
right. The Fellowship of the Ring,
Okay.
extended version.
Oh, yes. Got to have those.
Extended ones are much better than the theatrical because some scenes make more sense.
Right.
I'm going to get to a point of that later on when I get to Return of the King.
Right.
Two Towers extended.
Yep.
I love the scene where Merry and Pippin take Treebeard's stuff and they smoke it. They
Yeah.
take all his food. I love Merry and Pippin. And here's Return of the King, the longest one of all, 4 hours and 23 minutes.
Yes.
And then there's one scene where Gandalf's riding his horse and he's got a staff in his hand. And in the theatrical, you only see the staff is broken. But in this, you see the full scene and then you find out how the staff got broken.
Right.
So a lot of scenes in this film make more sense than the theatrical because they cut the scenes, but they didn't edit it well. And
right.
I'm like,
Saruman's, you get to see Saruman's death.
yeah, and it makes more sense in the actual film. Now we can move on to the Hobbit films.
I just want to show you my Lord of the Rings real quick.
Right.
This is the new
4K
4K edition that just came out at Christmas time. It was one of my Christmas presents that my family got for me. This is the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy in 4K.
Ooh, nice.
4K Ultra HD. It just came out recently. It's been on Amazon actually at reduced cost, but it's all in one package that's in here. So you have the Fellowship of the Ring, the theatrical version, and then you have the regular versions, all in the 4K release. Wow. So they're really, and I watched them in my other room is my 4K viewing room, and it's really good quality. They really took the time to do that, to do the release. There's usually with the 4K they include a Blu-ray. With this particular one, they did not. So my family bought me a separate Blu-ray package from Canada that had all the movies on Blu-ray. So I had those also. But this was my my Christmas present. I just had it over here. I thought I would share it with you.
Oh wow!
I got the Hobbit as well.
Are those all? Does it have the extended cuts on there too?
Yes, both. Each movie has the extended.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Extended and the regular.
Oh, cool.
And it came with digital copies as well. This release, just to give you a perspective, it released for about $90 at Christmas time. And us being geeks, we all went after it. But I am seeing it now. There's a great guy he has a YouTube channel. I actually have his sweatshirt that my kids got me. He's called Films from Home. And he's got like 100,000 subscribers. It's just him talking to a camera like we are, going, he has movie companies send him like releases and stuff.
Oh,
and
wow.
he puts out deals all the time. If I get any of those codes, I will forward them on to you. But he gets deals all the time from Amazon and to offer discounts. So it's really cool.
Oh, cool. Nice. So now we move on to the Hobbit films. Now these are all the theatrical. There's the first one.
Okay.
Gotta love Smeagol.
Yes.
Love Smeagol. Desolation of Smaug.
Yep.
I love how you that's how you pronounce it, Smaug.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yep, and then there's the Battle of the Five Armies. And
Question
now,
for you, James. How did you feel about them? The Hobbit was just a short story. It wasn't like Lord of the Rings, a trilogy that went on forever. By the way, if you're ever interested in coming to Milwaukee, we have one of the original manuscripts from J.R.R. Tolkien here in the city.
oh, I'd love to see that.
At Marquette. It's at Marquette University. I don't know if you ever heard of Marquette University. And it's over at the university because there was a Tolkien scholar that was one of the professors over there, and he got it. It's on display, I believe, over there. But on a side note, how do you feel about my problem with The Hobbit is I liked it, but I kind of felt to quote Lord of the Rings, they took butter and kind of stretched it over bread. Did you feel that way at all? Or did you just go with what they put out there?
Read The Hobbit, so I wouldn't know.
Okay.
But I thought they were brilliant films. And then for my birthday,